Today is the 11th day of the 8th month in the 9th year of Channel 2, September 17, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. Chanjin Champumunim ke Kyongbe Paro. Let us recite Kajong Mengse.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
To lead us for the opening prayer, may I call on Reverend Cesar Juanillo, the regional leader of Region 7.
You hear me? Let us pray. Good morning, our most beloved Heavenly Parent and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. First and foremost, we would like to express our deepest gratitude for giving us new life, new day for us to again to receive your love through your words and guidance and inspiration for us to continuously move forward to realize and fulfill our mission and responsibility that you have entrusted to us. We thank you, Heavenly Parent, for all the blessings, protection that you have always, Father, given to us. And we pray continuously to our beloved true Mother, protection and good health and long life, and to all our leaders, blessed families, general families, and all our brothers and sisters throughout the world. And may that we can continuously be united and stand firm, to really have strong conviction to testify our beloved true parents, testify our beloved true mother, the begotten daughter of our heavenly parent, who lead the providence in these providential times, in these golden times, heavenly parent of that each one of us have a very important role in order to participate in realizing John L. Cook. Beloved Heavenly Parent, we have now in this very important also mobilization, especially for the coming Pacific uh, Christian Leadership Conference inaugural rally this coming October 4 and October 5. We pray that we can continuously find those righteous religious leaders who can really work with you and to our beloved true mother so that we can offer this nation that can really contribute for the unification of North and South Korea and for the establishment of the unified world. We pray, Heavenly Parent, that all our Chunpa families, our blessed families, that we can also be able, Heavenly Parent, contribute in this very important providence of restoring our families, restoring our tribes, restoring our nations. Heavenly Parent, we also pray for all our brothers and sisters who are suffering because of this COVID. Many are also suffering from starvation because of crisis that we face today in the world today. Heavenly Parent, we pray that you can embrace them with your love and let them overcome, so that they can recognize you, Heavenly Parent, so that we can be repentful and we can be purified, so that we can honor you, Heavenly Parent. And we would like to invite your divine presence to, especially your messenger this morning, that can convey your hearts, convey your providence, that all of us can be united together and the same heart, same mind, and same spirit that can really, Father, bring your providence into the realization, Father, of your heavenly kingdom here on earth. Thank you so much, Father. Please guide our national leader, Reverend Leo Angilhalog, to be your speaker, to be your mouthpiece, Father, to really bring closer each one of us to you, Heavenly Parent. Thank you for everything, and we'd like to offer this together. A report in our name, Cesar and Evgenia, one leader from the Blessed Central family. Aju.
Adieu. Now let's offer our individual prayer. Adieu. Okay, good morning, heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, leaders, brothers and sisters, Chonbo couples, blessed families from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and all over the world. So, Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome to our National Morning Devotion and I'm so glad to be your MC for today. So, to lead us for the Hondok reading, may I call on Mrs. Erlinda Fonoliera.
Our Heavenly Parent, to our true parents, leaders, blessed families, and all members of the Unification Movement. Good morning to all. Our reading is taken from the book of our true mother, Mother of Peace, Hak Jahan Moon. Chapter 1, My Truest Lifelong Wish. Into his 70s, Father Moon could handle this physically, but in his last decade, it would wear him out and he would end up with a cold or worse. Of course, he would ignore the symptoms. And then during the summer of 2012, he caught a deep chest cold that was particularly alarming. We should have gone to the hospital immediately, but he kept postponing it, saying over and over, "We can go after this is done." Eventually, the decision was non-negotiable. He had to go to the hospital. His body was already in a very fragile state. He was hospitalized for a short time, but as soon as his medical examinations were finished, he stubbornly insisted on being discharged. We tried to persuade him to stay longer, but he wouldn't listen. "I still have a lot of work to do. I can't just sit here in the hospital," he said, scolding the people who advised him to stay. There was no choice but to discharge him. That was August 12, 2012. We arrived home, and all of a sudden, he said, "I want to have breakfast sitting opposite you, Oma." The members who heard this weren't sure they heard him right, because I always sat next to my husband during meals, not facing him. And then, when the food was served, my husband seemed uninterested in eating. He just gazed at me as if he were trying to engrave my face in his heart. I smiled and placed a spoon in his hand and something from the side dishes on his plate. "These vegetables are delicious, so take your time to eat," I said. Father and Mother Moon, East Garden, Irvington, New York. The next day, the sun was unusually strong, even for midsummer in the oppressive heat. Father Moon toured parts of our Chunwon complex on the shores of Chongpyong Lake, accompanied by an oxygen tank larger than himself. Upon his return to our home, Chon Jonggong, he asked me to bring a voice recorder. With the recorder in his hand, he fell into deep thought for 10 minutes and then little by little began recording his thoughts. He stated that when we transcend the history of the fall and return to the original Garden of Eden, following only God, we can then move in the direction of the kingdom of heaven. He also proclaimed that we can restore nations through fulfilling the mission of guiding our tribes. It was a soliloquy and prayer that embraced the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. Everything has been accomplished. I offer everything to heaven, he said in closing. Everything has been brought to its consummation, completion, and conclusion. This turned out to be True Father's final prayer. With it, he brought his life to a close. Breathing with some difficulty for a moment, he squeezed my hand tightly. Mother, thank you, Mother. Please take care of everything. I'm so sorry, and I'm truly grateful, he said, struggling to get the words out. Again and again, he said those same words. I held his hand more and more firmly, and with warm words and loving eyes, holding back the tears. I reassured him that everything would be all right. Don't worry about anything. On September 3, 2012, my husband, Reverend Dr. San Ming Moon, ascended into God's embrace. He was 93 years old by the Korean way of counting and was laid to rest in the Bonhyang Won, which means the garden in the original hometown beside a pond on Mount Chongsong. I have often slipped into deep thought gazing at the moon rising above Mount Chongsong. I cut it down with a jade axe and trimmed it with a gold axe to build a small cottage where I attend my mother and father. I want to live with them forever. I repeat this poem to myself over and over. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you so much, Mrs. Fonoliera, for the very nice reading. So I really feel intoxicated with how our true mother's love towards our true father. And now, uh, let's start each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not utter words, but to live by them. To give her 10 points of gratitude, let us welcome Miss Joname Magbayad.
Good morning to our most beloved Heavenly Parents and true parents. Good morning to our prospective leaders, elders, and to our beloved brothers and sisters. I'll be the one who give the 10 points of gratitude for this morning devotion. First, I am so grateful to Heavenly Parents and true parents for giving me opportunities to give 10 points of gratitude. Second, I am so grateful to my spiritual mother for inviting me in this movement. Third, I am so grateful to Kuya Cesar, our central leader in Cebu, for helping me to experience many things to improve myself. Fourth, I am so grateful to my physical parents for their hard work and support on me for reaching what I am today. Fifth, I am so grateful to my brothers and sisters here in Cebu Center for cheering me up and become my strength every time I'm in struggle. Six, I am so grateful to all brothers and sisters for their hard work and time in mobilizing for the coming PCLC event. Seventh, I am grateful to my elder brother for guiding me and teaching me in fundraising. Eight, I am so grateful to my Aunt Janeline Lumagbas, who became my spiritual mother and the one that brought me and my brother in this movement. Nine, I am so grateful to my physical brother for giving me advice and guidance for all the time. 10, I am so grateful to myself that I did not surrender for those times that I am down, that I am still at the providence of true parents for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Jonna May Magbayag, for your 10 points of gratitude. So I know every one of us have a lot of things to be grateful for. And most especially, very important is our life and our good health and our safety. So now I know you're very excited. So to also witness the offering song prepared by Miss Airy Jasmine Barlaan, which is entitled Part of Your World. So let's give to welcome him a big virtual applause, please.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I got woozits and what's galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Betcha on land they'd understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Asking my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? But when's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore the shore up above, out of the sea? Wish I could be part of that world.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Airy Jasmine Berlaan, for your very beautiful song. So thank you so much. So I hope the atmosphere is prepared now to hear a heavenly guidance coming from heaven. So let's welcome our very hardworking and loving and very handsome national leader, our very own Reverend Dr. Leo Angelo Halog, our national leader. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause, please.
Thank you very much to our very wonderful and powerful host for today, our Brother Boniface. I would like to greet our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Good morning, our Heavenly Parents and true parents. To all our beloved leaders, Chandu families, the central families, and brothers and sisters, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And thank you very much for joining once again our morning devotion. Today is another day for us to express our gratitude and fulfill our responsibility that heaven has given us. Thank you to our Region 7 family for hosting today's morning devotion. Truly inspiring the song of our very beautiful second generation, si Neneng, the daughter of our Ate Merly. Thank you for that very inspiring song. And also for the 10 points of gratitude that was offered to us by our sister. Thank you very much. This morning, I would like to share with you, I would like to continue Minsan Chambumugyong. So today I would like to share this topic entitled True Mothers University Speaking Tour, Opening the Way for CARP. Okay, so I'd like to start. So Father said, they depend on mothers who play an important role. The question of who will lead the young people in the future is a global one. The first generation of Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years and died there. The world has now reached an era similar to the time when the second generation of Israelites entered Canaan and found what they had hoped for. The surviving second generation had to construct a nation and a world with a philosophy of nation building and world peace, and accomplish what the first generation of the Israelite tribes could not. The Unification Church must restore this through indemnity. All these issues depend on women. They depend on the mothers who play an important role. So through mothers talking about, through father is talking about, especially thinking about the future, who will going to lead young people in the future. So fathers comparing that our time is now like the same with the time of the Israelites in the past. So the first generation that wandered in the wilderness for 40 years and then they died there. So Father said now that the world has now reached an era similar to the time when the second generation of Israelites entered Canaan and found what they had hoped for. So it's like already the time that the second generation arrived in Canaan. So this is now the same era where we are in. So the surviving second generation had to construct a nation and a world with a philosophy of nation building and world peace. So actually when they arrived, they have to construct, right, a nation. So the same is true what we are doing now. So we have to accomplish, Father said, like the second generation in the past, they have to accomplish what the first generation of Israelite tribes could not. So now this is the Unification Church purpose. Father said is to really restore through indemnity what was not accomplished in the past. So all these issues depend on women. So they depend on mothers who play an important role. So how important really the role of women, especially the mothers who play an important role. Of course, the young people need they have to really take the lead. We need to raise them up, but most importantly, the one who will going to to raise them up. That is the mother. So that's why the role of the women is very, very important. Father is explaining here. So it depends on the mothers who play an important role. Father said, mothers have to properly educate their children. So from now on, mothers have to properly educate their children. The Israelite mothers who entered the land of Canaan, as well as their sons and daughters, were influenced by the people who were already there, unable to preserve their own religious traditions. They failed to establish the kingdom in Israel. So in order to restore this through indemnity, mothers have to imbue the traditional ideas of our church into the second generation so that they will establish heaven on earth instead of being influenced by Satan's world. This will reverse the failures of the past. After mothers and their children become one, how do they establish the kingdom in Israel? That is their mission. The Israelite mothers failed to think about this. They, together with their sons and daughters, followed in the footsteps of the 7 tribes of Canaan. That was their grave mistake. So what happens when they arrive in Canaan? They actually lost faith. They were influenced. This is the reality. When they arrive in Canaan, they should, practice their own faith traditions, right? And then the ideal that they supposed to keep. But what happens when they arrive in Canaan? They were influenced. They lost faith. So really very important. So as we are looking at, the young people this time, their role, the responsibility, they are really the future. Yeah, that is true. But most importantly, the people who will going to raise them up, yun yung pinakamahalaga now. So the parents' position, especially the mother. So now actually through mothers leading our entire movement, right? And then already we have started several years ago, the era of women. So now really the women are playing a very, very important role. So sabi ni Father dito, mothers have to properly educate their children. So in order for our young people, our young children, to be able to really take on their responsibility and truly become the hope of the future, then really the mothers have to really raise them up very well, right? They have to be raised up. Father said, in order to restore this through indemnity, mothers have to imbue the traditional ideas of our church into the second generation so that they will establish heaven on earth instead of being influenced by Satan's world. So really very easy to be influenced, even during the time, already long ago, but not much, the time comparing to the world we are living in today, which is really so materialistic. Comparing to before, it's very far now. The world is truly, that's why many people are losing hope. What kind of world we are living in? So it's very easy for our young people, our children to be influenced. That's why Father is telling us today that we have to really educate our children, especially second generation. Now, True Mother now is raising up third generation, not only second generation. True Mother now is investing so much really to raise up our children so that they can take their responsibility in the future and really become the hope, right? So Mother said we have to imbue the traditional ideas of our church into the second generation so that they will establish heaven on earth instead of being influenced by Satan. Because this is actually really the foundation as they are growing up. Really, the mothers are really playing a very important role. So in order for us to have our second generation, third generation, young generation to take responsibility in the future, most important is how parents, especially how mothers, raise them up. So this will reverse the failures of the past, Father said. So after mothers and their children become one, how do they establish the kingdom in Israel? That is their mission. So the Israelite mothers failed to think about this. So they, together with their sons and daughters, followed in the footsteps of the 7 tribes of Canaan. That was their grave mistake. Kaya nga, in this era, before how much parents have sacrificed, mothers have sacrificed, even as we have read the teachings of Father, especially it was also written in Autobiography of True Mother. In Korea, lalong-lalo na before, the mothers, they were sent out to do mission for 3 years, leaving their children behind. Really not easy during those times, right? But you know, this time, because of the foundation, even fathers telling us, you know, mothers shouldn't leave their children, especially at their young age. At their young age, napakahalaga talaga ng mga magulang, lalo po ng nanay, lalo ng nanay. That's why we are not now, hindi na katulad dati na parents leave their children to do their mission. Now, most important nga ngayon, even husband and wife, even their entire family do the mission, so that, you know, we can be able to really take care well of our children, raise them up very well. So really we can understand now how important the role of the mothers. So in order for us to see young generation, second generation, third generation take responsibility in the future, it's first, you know, stands or depends on the mother, how the mother raised them up. That's why it's really, really important. So we are now really living in different time. Now we have to really balance things, right? Parents is to take care of their children, especially the mothers. So itong situation po natin ngayon, really important. How can we really raise up? So True Mother now is really directly, you know, involved and really focusing in raising up our second and third generation so that they can really take the lead in the future. So True Father said, mothers have to rescue the second generation, their offspring. So we must go the opposite way. Mothers, sons, and daughters must unite in establishing the heavenly kingdom. Mothers have to educate their children so that they can have an influence on their university communities. Hence, after women of the world become second selves of True Mother, they must turn their children around 180 degrees, even if they have to hold on them and not let them go. So to achieve this, to achieve that, you have to do the same as True Mother, who went on a speaking tour of 256 venues over the 2 years following 1992. You have to save your relatives and your nation. This is not some vague notion, but a real problem. What is real is that I fought for 40 years searching for a heavenly nation. I gave speeches in the United States in order to pass the baton to Mother, who went on to influence the university communities. Mothers have to rescue the second generation, their offspring. So, you know, really we can learn and we can see how much also True Mother have invested. So from 1992, that's the time when True Mother could stand in the position and True Father could introduce on the worldwide level. So from that time, True Mother started to speak, you know, to universities, especially in Korea. There are some cases that, you know, like CARP was kicked out from other universities, but because of the speaking tour of True Mother, it opened the way. So really, Father is saying that mothers have to educate their children so that they can have an influence in their university communities. So this is really important. So we are also reorganizing, organizing our CARP in the Philippines. So after we settle things, we have to really focus also on the universities. So now we are doing like a regional youth forum centering on the regional, centering on the barangay or the SK Federation presidents and youth development officers. But next step will be in the university. That's why, you know, we are organizing also CARP. We are also waiting for final approval. And really, this is very important, the role of CARP in the universities. Actually, in 2018, when we were in Nepal during the summit, World Summit there, True Mother spoke to the leaders at the time, and then True Mother emphasized the importance of CARP and really establishing chapters in top universities. That's why we are also making plan with our IAYSP and CARP. How can we really expand in top universities? We have to focus more in the top universities of our country, not only the, you know, not so high level, but this time we have to really focus on the top universities like University of the Philippines, lalong-lalo na. So that's why Father is saying here, mothers have to educate their children so that they can have an influence in their university communities. So they will not just study as an ordinary students. So we have many students, young generation, second generation, they are studying in top schools actually, but they couldn't establish, we cannot establish CARP chapters doon sa mga schools na yon. So kaya ang sabi ni mother dito, ni father dito, through mothers have to educate their children well. And sabi through mother, we have to like inculcate our tradition, our teaching to them, our second, third generation, so that when they go to universities, they can influence their community. This is very important. They can influence their community. Kaya nga, and later we need to make clear plan. And then select yung mga top na second generation natin, young generations. And then also we are looking for maybe those who has difficulty talaga rin financially to study. We have to find a way, maybe through our members also in other countries, or look for scholarships to support our young second generation, third generation, or young members to study in top universities, to become scholar. So they will go there not only to study, but actually their main purpose also is to establish strong CARP chapters in those universities, lalo na sa UP. So anyway, we can study dito sa mga susunod na slide what father is saying. So it's really important. So unang-una, magsimula sa mga mothers, the role of the women in educating our young generations. And then based on that, once they have stable life of faith and they have clear understanding, then later when they study in top universities, they will going to establish CARP chapters doon and be able to really influence university communities. Really, the young people truly are the hope. Kaya nga we have to really educate very well, really very important. And then they will going to start to take responsibility, becoming CARP leaders in their respective universities. And then based on that, they can really grow, develop, and really truly become the hope of our nation and really become the hope of the world. Aju. So that's why father said mothers have to rescue the second generation, their offspring. That's why really parents, especially the mother, playing a very, very important role. Father said mothers must manage the dispute between Cain and Abel. So centering on mother, CARP is in the position of Abel, and the political activists on university campuses are in the position of Cain. So mother must manage the dispute between Cain and Abel. So the right-wing and left-wing activists of South Korea have to unite and stand in the Abel position, and then unite with North Korean students who are in Cain's position. Then all will end well. It does not matter how much people in the positions of authority oppose this. On the day when the young people unite with mother, the future of unification will visit this land. We have no choice but to do this, as herein lies the fortune of heaven. Now is the time to light an unquenchable fire in their young, glowing hearts. So really, father is emphasizing, mother must manage the dispute between Cain and Abel. So that's why CARP is standing in the position of Abel. And then in the university, there are many other political activist group doon. So they are standing in the position of Cain. So mother must manage the dispute between Cain and Abel. The right wing and the left wing of South Korea especially have to unite and then stand in the position of Abel position, and then unite with North Korean students who are in Cain's position. Then all will end well. So really, what is the role of mother? Our true mother now, uniting everything, actually centering our beloved true mother. Our young people, left wing, right wing, really now bringing together into one without coming together like in South Korea. Without, in South Korea alone, they need to come together, unite, and then after that, they have to unite with North Korea. That's why the young generation, especially in South Korea, so they have to really become one. So those who are standing in the Cain position, our movement doon, our young people, under our YSP, especially CARP, then they have to unite with the activists in South Korea. They have to become one. Ganun din sa atin in the Philippines. Right? We, the IAYSP, especially CARP, that's why we have to revive CARP. And then in the university campuses, they are standing in able position. And then they have to influence yung mga activists actually doon, and then they have to unite Kaya nga without chapters tayo ng CARP sa mga top universities, lalo na sa UP, bakit very strong ang UP? We don't have CARP chapter doon. So before meron tayo sa Los Baños, but now we don't have anymore. But dito sa Maine, dito sa University of the Philippines, that's why now we are looking mga second generation natin, young first generation natin who have really the passion of strong, stable life of faith. Later on, we have to really think about this one and really purposely enroll them, lalo na sa University of the Philippines. That's why True Mother, gave the guidance in 2018. I was there. I could attend directly when True Mother spoke that time. Sabi niya to really focus on the top universities and establish daw CARP chapters doon. Kaya nga, we have to really make clear plan dito, centering on our youth movement. So this is really, really important. So Father said, on the day when the young people unite with Mother, the fortune of unification will visit this land. So we have no choice but to do this, as herein lies the fortune of heaven. Now is the time to light an unquenchable fire in their young, glowing hearts. Kaya really this time, why True Mother also in 2017 established also IAYSP. We can now understand really, of course, we know, lagi nating naririnig from our national hero 100 years ago, that really the young people, they are really the hope. But we cannot really see the reality. Kaya nga ngayon, our movement, we have to really make it reality and really raise up our young generations to really show really hope in this world. Aju, so sabi ni True Mother, now is the time to light an unquenchable fire in their young, glowing hearts. So once young people are inspired, right, they have this burning desire to accomplish something centering on God's will, they can really accomplish great things beyond, imagination. This is the power of young people. Aju, that's why you have to really make plan, maybe until this year, pandemic will be ending. We hope, by next year, pag magkaroon na ng face-to-face classes later on, lalo na sa mga universities. So we have to really have clear plan and really set up CARP chapters. So we have to really select. So, and then need to really find ways also to support mga kan natin. Siguro, we need to make scholars, mga top young students natin. First generation, second generation, even some third generation that they're growing up. So we have to really set up clear plan for this and really influence universities and really establish strong chapters doon that can really educate young people inside the campus. Aju? So Father said that the first shall be the last and the last shall be first. So Mother delivered speeches to the US Congress and the United Nations General Assembly and received resounding ovations. The United Nations is the Congress of the free world. So she should also achieve great victories in the Eve Nation. Japan. On Korean university campuses, political activist groups had kicked out CARP, but Mother turned the situation around all over the country. So this was the restoration of the elder son's birthright. Although previously Christians had united with campus activists to defeat the Unification Church, the situation has now been reversed. The right has become the left, and the left has become the right. So by siding with the Unification Church, former communist powers are coming to the heavenly side. So the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So everything has already, reversed. Actually, Father is explaining dito. True Mother brought tremendous victory, achieved great victory even in Japan. And then in Korea, when True Mother had the speaking tour, even though CARP was kicked out in some universities, but because of True Mother's speaking tour. So Mother turned the situation around all over the country. So this was the restoration of the elder son's birthright. So although previously Christians had united with campus activists to defeat the Unification Church, the situation has now been reversed. So the right has become the left, and the left has become the right. So by siding with the Unification Church, former communist powers are coming to the heavenly side. So now really they are transforming now. So why in these schools without CARP, very strong ang communism doon. Lalo sa UP, ito yung kanila, like ito yung breeding area nila. Dito sila kumukuha ng mga top students. And then actually, ang tina-target talaga nila, top students. Right? Because when these, young people who are also very good intellectually, and then once you develop a burning heart in their, desire in their heart, they will going to accomplish great things. Aju, kaya nga ito rin yung target ng CARP, ito rin ang target natin. Should be the top students, right? So without really CARP, how can we really solve yung problem of communism? Not only to educate sila, mga students, when we go to the universities, if we will do, for example, mag-organize lang tayo, but if we don't have chapter doon, it's also easy for them again to be influenced. Kaya ibig sabihin, we have to set up, may center dapat tayo sa lalo na sa University of the Philippines, and continue. We have to strengthen ang pandoon, and then until we can really transform and really educate them continuously, until maging #1 na organization na doon sa mga top universities. That's why I believe this is what Mother is talking about in 2018 in Nepal. This is what True Mother wanted to be achieved and realized. That's why there should be really strong CARP chapters, especially in top universities. That's why really it's important when next year magkaroon na ng face-to-face classes. Then our young people again can go to university physically. Then really we have to think about this. And we have already in the Philippines, we have many second generation, right? Anyway, they are really doing their best. They are truly the hope, right? When we can establish chapters in top universities, then we can be able to really educate the young people of this nation, and then really great hope will be seen by people of this nation, and really not only in our nation, but we can spread in all other nations and in the world. If we can raise up many young, dedicated, and really faithful leaders, then not only for the Philippines, in other nations also, they can be sent to other nations to lead other nations also, right? So really the Philippines is also really playing a very important role. So again, raising up the children, the mother has a very, very important role. So that is a really important point. So Father said, Mother shouldered a great responsibility. So Mother shouldered a great responsibility when she had to stand on the front line for 3 years, from 1992 until 1995. So the number 3 is a number of separation from Satan. That was the separation period, starting in America and progressing to the United Nations, to Japan, and to the world. She went on a speaking tour of 40 universities throughout Korea, connecting them to 40 nations in the world. So they represented Cain and Abel, centering on parents. Finally, on the world level, Mother stood in a position equal with me. I had passed on all my victories to Mother. At the end of World War II, the world did not welcome me, but chased me out. But now, in the second course for the dispensation of restoration, the true family was welcomed worldwide. This restored it through indemnity. So, really, Father have gone through unimaginable, really how many times through Father has been kicked out, many times. But based on the foundation that was established. So when Mother, finally, especially from 1992, when True Mother stood in the position and then equal with Father, and then started also really go around publicly. So Mother, the treatment to Mother was different. Even in China, True Mother was welcome. Even the most difficult, almost cannot speak, but still True Mother could give speech in China, right? So ibang era na because of the foundation, also especially that Father have, really laid and established. And then when True Mother started, True Mother was welcome actually everywhere, right? So really Mother shouldered great responsibility, our beloved True Mother, until this time, especially when Father passed on to the spiritual world, right? So that time, we cannot really imagine how heavy the burden of True Mother, especially after Father have just passed away. Really cannot imagine. Only True Mother and Heavenly Parent and True Parents knows the heart of true mother, and then the responsibility that true mother have shouldered, right? But really, because of all the foundations, then true mother could be welcomed, and then the true family was welcomed worldwide. So this restored it through indemnity. So that's why we are truly grateful, because our true mother until this time really, and she's determined to complete the providence, right? Really carrying all the burdens actually. Kaya nga tayo rin, how can we also fulfill our responsibility and lessen the burden of our beloved true mother, right? So as ideal families, as blessed central families, we have to really take on our responsibility of raising up our own children, especially the mothers, right? As true mother now is really investing to raise up our second, third generation. True mother is offering a lot of scholarships, right? So let's prepare our children very well, right? Let's send them actually to Korea, to UPA now, through two grandchildren of true mother. They are now in UPA. They are really being trained directly by our beloved true mother. So ngayon din, I'm also really thinking we have to, every year actually, UPA is looking for potential students. But we couldn't send much ngayon. Only yung batch lang ni na Sir Ronnie, ni na Jason. But now we don't have actually students doon, I think, for a few years. So we have to also prepare well our second generation, even our young first generation, so that they can, directly receive also education in Korea from our true mother. Kaya we have to really include this in the youth, in our youth organizations. We have to really include clearly, and then we have to set up ang plan natin how many we can send every year to be educated directly, as true mothers investing so much to educate our young generation. So we are really grateful for our beloved true mother, really taking full responsibility and really investing, sacrificing everything to complete the providence in her lifetime. Aju, so let's really do our best to support our beloved true mother. Also, as parents, by really raising up our second generation, right? Especially the mothers. So this time, Father said, you have to focus on witnessing to your family and relatives. From now on, you have to focus on witnessing to your family and relatives, middle and high school students and college students. Now is the age of the second generation. The people of Israel turned a deaf ear to Moses. Before the landing in Canaan, Moses and all the first generation people perished. However, I have landed together with the second generation. This land belongs to the second generation, so I feel responsible for them. Mother and the sons and daughters of true parents' family are conducting a speaking tour not only of 100 universities in the United States, but also of 3,300 universities throughout the world. Starting in Japan, I must bring together all the world's students. It is my responsibility to win the hearts of young people from age 16, when Adam and Eve fell, to 21, and adding another 3 years to 24. The time for this has come. So this is the most important na age ng mga kabataan. From 16 to 21 and then to 24. This is the most crucial. This is the time where Adam and Eve committed the fall. Kaya nga ito rin yung pinaka-crucial na time sa mga second generation natin and third generation. So Father's talking about really this time, this was 1994. Sabi ni Father dito, this is the era of the age of the second generation, but actually already we go beyond second generation. True Mother now is raising up third generation. True Mother now is raising up third generation. So really, this is now the era of our young generations actually. So True Father is emphasizing the importance. Sabi ni Father dito, this time we have to focus on witnessing to our family and relatives. Yeah, really, that's why also in the past, we study that we have to go back to our hometown. Sabi ni Father, yeah, really this time, we have to focus in educating our own family and relatives. You know, also in my side, actually really not easy. In my relatives need to establish really more and more foundations. Yeah, those who have already established great foundations already, they have done, they are now in their hometown, and then they are already doing. They have already big foundations, but for us still young couples, still we are continuously, we have to build continuous foundation, and then no matter what, we have to really educate our family members, our relatives. This is now the time, Father said, when Father started to talk about going to hometown from 30 years ago, right? But of course, really without foundation, then you cannot just easily go and educate your relatives and families. That's why our foundations is necessary. So, but already we are in this era, right? So really very important for the parents, ating pong mga magulang, lalo na for the mother, especially, you know, this age of our children from 16 to 24 years old. But of course, their education start from young age. Kapag lumaki na sila, saka lang sila educate, then it will not really take effect anymore, right? It's very difficult to educate already when they grow up, when our children have grown up already, not easy to educate them. Kaya nga, at their young age, Father is emphasizing from 0 to 3 years old, this is very, very important point of their life. The things that we're going to learn from that age, then they were going to carry. That's why the guidance of the parents, especially the mother, is very, very important. So we can truly raise up young people that can really take the lead in the future. Aju, so starting from the nurturing in the family by the parents, especially the mother, we can really raise up faithful and really loyal and really, really future young generation that can really take the lead, not only for our nation, but for the world. Aju. So really, this is now the time for us to be able to really complete everything and really show the true hope of the future, which is our young generation, especially the second and third generation. So as the world sometimes is really losing hope, right? That's why through our rally of hope. And then, minsan hindi naniniwala ang mga tao that ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan, because when we look at our society now, the ones that bringing more serious problems are our young people, right? That's why some people, you know, doesn't believe, but not us. We could see clearly, right? Because of true parents, teaching, and then really showing us, have raised us up, many young people already. Now, our movement is looking at, you know, young leaders, 40 years old and below. So this is really, True Mother is really doing everything to really raise up and settle everything. Gusto ni True Mother that soon, mga young generations na talaga ang nag-lead ng ating movement, ng Family Federation, even UPF, IAYSP, Women's Federation. So all our organizations, not only our organization, in all sectors of society, our young generations, they are truly the hope. Aju, that's why as parents, our responsibility, especially the mothers, and then also our second, third generation, please really work together and really unite with your parents, right? And then let's really understand what Heavenly Parent and True Parents wanted us to understand, and really focus on how can we really grow and develop and truly become the hope of our nation. Aju, really one day this world will going to see the young generations that True Parents have raised. Aju, that will going to really give hope to our nation and to the world. So once again, thank you to our beloved True Parents. And there's one more slide. So Father said the Unification Church stands in the position of Abel. So the Unification Church stands in the position of Abel to other churches. So thus, Christianity cannot invade the victorious Unification Church, which has reclaimed the elder son's birthright. Their position is similar to that of Esau, who could not strike Jacob because he had wrestled with the angel at the ford of Jabbok River and subjugated him. So that's why our church, our movement is standing in the position of Abel. And then what Father is saying here, thus Christianity cannot invade the victorious Unification Church, our movement. Nothing can invade anymore. Already we are established, right? So which has reclaimed the elder son's birthright. It is like comparing, sabi ni Father, with like Jacob. That's why Esau cannot, you know, do anything. Who cannot strike Jacob. Why? Because Jacob became victorious. He wrestled with the angel at the ford of Jabbok and subjugated him. So our entire movement, through the sacrifice of True Parents, they have overcame every level already. They became victorious already, our True Parents. That's why no one can already invade our movement. That's why even, you know, people are saying that when True Father will be going to the spiritual world, our movement will going to collapse. But what happens now after father went to the spiritual world? Our movement was, elevated, has elevated more to the highest level. That's why even people, especially in America, the scholars in America, they're saying that when father will go to the spiritual world, our movement will collapse. But what happens, right? This is because of the foundations that has been laid already. We are deeply rooted. That's why now we are now challenging actually to restore Christianity. That's why through our PCLC, this is now the time. So we have to really use now all the foundations that we have. Instead of us, being invaded, they cannot invade anymore. But it is now time for us to really bring all these religious leaders together. That's why through our PCLC, especially the Christians, who's supposed to welcome true parents, right? Who have been prepared for a long time. This is their time. So ngayon, ito na yung opportunity for us to help them fulfill their mission, their responsibility. That's why through our PCLC ren, right? So anyway, today we have learned about the importance of our young generations, especially. Really, they are really the hope. And also today we could understand the role of the mother in raising them up so that they can fulfill their responsibilities. Aju, so our entire movement is already deeply rooted. So all the foundations are laid already. So now we are going to challenge the mainstream, right? Because the most serious is really how to bring religious groups together to support and work together with us, especially the Christians. So now we have come to this time, Aju. So we have to really target top religious leaders and really bring them to PCLC so that they can be able to be connected to true parents and be able to receive true parents' love and education, and also they can start to really work together with us, and then we can restore our nation. We can restore the world. Aju. So with this, let's really appreciate and offer again our gratitude to our heavenly parents and true parents for their guidance this morning. So thank you very much, all beloved brothers and sisters. Let's really have a great day today, and may heavenly parents and true parents love and blessings be always upon you and your families. Please stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, our very powerful national leader, for the very powerful message for this morning. So our day is filled with inspiration and hope that really the role of our mother is really very important, and it's really also a reminder for everyone that in order for us to really build the long cherished dream of our heavenly parents and true parents, we need to work together with our true mother, and everything will follow. And now, so again, let's give our national leader a big virtual applause. Thank you so much. And to move on to our giving of reflection. So I know most of here with us is very inspired and really want to share their hearts. So I would like to call on our very powerful brother from Cebu, who are very passionate and also done training in the national. So let's hear his reflection. No other than let's welcome Mr. John Lord Zaratan with a big virtual applause, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Boniface. Thank you so much. Madunggan na lang. Okay, good morning to our loving heavenly parent and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, and especially to our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halog, and to all our Chunbo families, blessed families, brothers and sisters. Good morning. Thank you so much once again for allowing me to give reflection for this morning. It's a very wonderful opportunity that I can share my heart today to each and everyone. So first, I really reflect about the importance or role of the mother, and also about the young people. I really reflect about this topic because Even me, I really also experience like look like I don't have a mother or a parents that can really guide me when I was since childhood until right now. Because when I was also 3 years old, then my mother already have this kind of problem because she have already high blood in her lineage. Then at that time, my she is pregnant, 9 months already in the womb, about to my eldest sister. And at that time, they are in the hospital. Then the doctor said to my father that in order for the baby in the stomach to go out, so the doctor need to inject my mother in order the baby will go out. But at that time, the baby is already died in the stomach or in the womb of my mother because my mother is really she have a sickness. She is very hot at that time. So my father allowed the doctor to put injection in order the baby will go out. So after that one, for how many days, then my mother already high, very high because of the injection. So my mother cannot sleep. So my mother working very hard, even without eating. So that's why when my father is working, then after he arrived in my house, in our house, my father really shocked about my mother's actions because it's look like very different and not in a normal situation already. So at that time I was 3 years old, so I go in elementary days and high school days, and look like I don't have a parents because my father is working every day. Then only every Sunday he have a day off. Then but my mother is don't have already like normal thinking, like she have already the problem about her mind. So that's why when in every level of my study from elementary to high school, I have also many or cases or problems like in the guidance because of what I have committed. So I really reflect that if I have my mother beside me, maybe my parents, my mother can really teach me, educate me, and guide me to really become a matured person or to become a good person. So, and in this present time, I really reflect that in the near future also, if I have already my own second generation or children, so I will also give time and really educate and guide also my own children because I don't want also to repeat that kind of history that look like I don't have parents when I was childhood. So I really have this kind of keyword that to become responsible, that wherever I go, I will always become responsible, especially as a young people that mentioned our national leaders, very important role, but not just in words that we receive, but of course the action that we have wherever we go, we can always fulfill our responsibility centered to God and to parents, like and connect to the restoration. So once again, thank you so much for this morning devotion. So I really reflect that uh, about my mother. Like so, thank you so much. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, our brother John Lord, for sharing your heart. So let's give him again a virtual applause, please. So at this moment, so we will now again, to welcome our second, we'll give her reflection. Let's welcome no other than Mrs. Mercedita Lobefwa. Let's give her a virtual applause. Heavenly Parents and true parents, and to our national leader, Reverend Dr. Leo Angelo, hallowed to all the Chombo families, blessed families, and brothers and sisters. Good morning. To give a reflection today to our to the words given to us for this day, I just very much grateful and thankful to our heavenly parents for our true mother who really giving her guidance, and especially to our second generation and third generation to lead, to be the leader all the parts of the world. How really the true mother giving all her hearts to our second generation as well. And I just reflect it to myself during the time when I'm in Africa, since I'm a single mother now, since my partner went to the spirit world so early. You have to strive and work to find a job, but I can't find because of I have to take care of my child because I'm only alone out away from my families. It's really hard that the part that heavenly parents given me a country, a partner who is very far away, which is not also a stable country. Having a child without a father is really hard since the country is really difficult to find something that you can find to eat every day. I'm very much thankful and grateful that God given me a chance, the opportunity not to buy milk for my child. I'm praying for it that I can have milk to feed her every day. I'm grateful and thankful that I still able to feed her until 5 years. I'm thankful and grateful that heavenly parents did abandon us. It really, because of my strong faith in Him, and I truly believe that He will never abandon us. And that time of my hardships, the time that I remember that my child is very hungry, that even I cannot give her milk because I was not able to eat also. It's really hard that you live in a country that you don't have a partner to be with, to help you. And grateful as well that heavenly parents really send someone to help me and my daughter. The true mother have always emphasized that parents should not leave their children. They should take care of them. But we should work. For myself, I should work, find a job. How could I really be able to live with my child if I don't work? So I just find someone to take care of her. But then you cannot really rely on even members only take care of our children, especially in a time that I live with, the time that I went home, that my child had a fever, and somebody told me that she fell down the stairs from the second floor going down to the first floor. And I asked her, even though she's only 3 years old at the time, what happened? She said this,
nobody is really thinking of her, because I really had someone to look after her. But she just left the child in the room, and the child went downstairs and sleep, slide on the stairs. She said that she remembered that somebody just carried her, and she lost her conscience. I just had that painful heart, because without my presence on her, nobody is taking care of her. And she said that she had a headache. Really very painful in my heart that without a mother is taking a child on her absence, really difficult. The child is suffering as well. Especially every time when I go to work, she have to cry out loud. She doesn't want me to leave her. But because of our situation, I have to do it. Yeah, really have some difficulties in our life that I cannot really imagine. I thought that our members, if you have a second generation, they should really take care. It's really different here in the Philippines as I compared. And thankful and grateful that Heavenly Parents still working with me as I really work hard. I really exert more efforts on fulfilling my 95% of responsibility. And really, He made a way for us to truly survive. And I truly trusted Him everything, and our true parents, that truly we can survive and truly pass all through these difficulties in our life until today. Thankful and grateful, and I'm longing for Heavenly Parents and true parents to be near, that we should be near to Him. And now He had given it to us. Thankful and grateful for everything that I cannot forget. Thanking every second of my life to our Heavenly Parents and true parents, as well as our true mother, who really work hard for the world to truly fulfill the ideals of our Heavenly Parents in this world, especially here in the Philippines. Thank you, and all throughout the world, especially in Korea as well. Thankful and grateful for giving me this opportunity. That really, a mother has a very big role to truly attend our children, and to be aware of our children when they are in the environment, the outside world. It's really different to compare with all our second generation who are really connected to our church. And also, I'm thankful and grateful that I was able to educate my child to truly as well respect our culture and truly be a good person to others, and be obedient as well. And thankful and grateful for everything. Thank you so much for everything, for giving me this chance to share my reflections for this day. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mercy, for sharing your heart. It was really moving. And indeed, really, there's a lot of things that we need to overcome in our life of faith, and how we could really, especially for our mothers, and most especially for our true mother who are leading us the providence. So it's really, we need to pour out our original self to really how we could comfort God and true parents. So thank you so much. Let's give a big virtual applause to Ate Mercy. So thank you so much for sharing. And now we'll move to our announcement from the headquarters. Oh, walang announcement. Okay, so there's no more announcement as of this moment. So now let's move to our closing prayer to be led by Mrs. Emily Carale. Okay, since Miss Emily is not with us, so I'll lead the closing prayer. Please join me in my prayer. Our most beloved heavenly parents and true parents, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you so much for your message of hope and inspiration filled in our flesh and bones, heavenly parents, that we can thrive and survive in these challenging times. Thank you so much for the love that you've bestowed upon us, heavenly parents, that continuously giving us strength in order for us to fulfill our responsibility and our mission, heavenly parents, whom you've entrusted to us. Thank you so much for all our leaders and our true mother who are working uh, tirelessly, heavenly parents, for the providence to march forward. And we are so blessed to have our brothers and sisters who are with us, heavenly parents, in this time and era, that we can really comfort your heart and we can ease the pain that you suffered all throughout history. And now the kingdom of heaven is unfolding before us, and we should have this faithful heart, heavenly parents, and unchanging hearts in order to realize your dream, heavenly parents. And heavenly parents, we are so grateful for our national leader who are leading the providence here in the Philippines, and we are standing as the second daughter nation, that we can really fulfill our responsibility, and we can really support the providence, heavenly parents, especially the unification of North and South Korea. And we are praying for all the good health, well-being, and more victory of everyone, heavenly parents, in order to really especially support our true mother. And heavenly parents, we pray for the success of the inauguration of the Pacific Christian Leadership Conference this coming October, heavenly parents, and the Rally of Hope. And we pray for all our brothers and sisters to stay safe and healthy, and also their families, heavenly parents. And you, heavenly parents, that we cannot really rely on our own capacity and accord. We need you and we love you so much. And please be with us and dwell in each one of us as we continue our mobilization for today. And thank you so much for all the things that you've done throughout our lives, for the blessings that we receive. And we hope and pray that we can continue to share, each one of us, and inspiration and love and happiness, heavenly parents. And thank you so much for all the things that transpired us today. And we would like to offer our day to you with so much humility and gratitude in our hearts. In behalf of all our leaders, elders, blessed families, second generations, all our brothers and sisters, in the name of our victorious true parents, Aju. Now let's offer our individual prayer. Adju. Okay, thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for joining us this morning. I hope you will have a beautiful day. So now let's offer our good morning greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, heavenly parents and true parents. To all our brothers and sisters all over the world. Thank you so much to all our leaders. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mga taga Cebu.
Morning, everyone. Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Maayong buntag sa iyong tanan.
Maayong buntag po sa iyong tanan.
Salamat.
Maayong buntag.
Thank you, ingat.
Maayong buntag. Taga Cebu. Hosting today.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Okay ba? Naintindihan niyo ako?
Good morning, Ate May.
Sige na, babay na, babay na.
Hi, everyone.